Hello everyone, how you doing? My name is Austin Bentz. I work for Explore Asia. I'm one of the TESOL instructors here. What we're going to do today is I'm going to walk you through the final briefing page. You guys will all have access to this document. I just want to verbally talk you through a few things. We're going to go over how to get to Chiang Mai, what to do once you guys land, talk a little bit about your airport pickups, the accommodations we have sorted out for you guys, as well as banking, phone, and some other couple little items. So you guys all have access to this, but let's get into it here. So this is the final briefing document. We're going to go ahead and scroll past my heartfelt introduction. I'll leave you guys to read that on your own time. So we're going to talk about what to do once you guys land. When you first land in Thailand, you'll most likely land at Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok. Not a ton of airlines fly directly into Chiang Mai. So you'll likely land in Bangkok and then have to catch a connecting flight to get to Chiang Mai. So when you get to Suvarnabhumi Airport, you'll need to follow the signs to your connecting flight. You'll do this the same way you would do it anywhere else in the world. If you're confused or need help at all, ask one of the numerous help desks there and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. The staff at the airport has some of the best English of all Thai people, so feel free and ask them if you need any help and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Once you land in Chiang Mai, go ahead and pass your way through customs, collect your luggage, and proceed to the exit area. Once you're there, look for a driver. He will have a sign with your name on it. It'll also have our Explore Asia logo. So he will be your driver and he will take you to your accommodation. Just a heads up, your name might potentially be spelled wrong. The English is the second language in Thailand, so there's just something to keep in mind. Please do not be offended. If for whatever reason your driver is not there immediately at your landing, we ask you please wait for at least an hour. We want you to wait for at least an hour regardless of whether or not your flight is early, late, or right on time. There are a bunch of different variables that could lead to them being late, namely traffic, so please wait for at least an hour. If after that hour you've still not managed to connect with your driver, please try and get in contact with a member of the Explore Asia staff. Our contact information will be at the end of this document here, so call or at least email us and hopefully we can sort something out. In the extremely rare occurrence you don't manage to connect with the driver or hear from a member of the staff, you'll have to make your own way to the accommodation. While this scenario is extremely unlikely, I understand it's a little bit intimidating, but it's really easy. So you're going to want to do a couple things to prepare yourself just in case. First is to print out the name and address of the accommodation, and you'll find it right here. Here it is written in English, and then down here is the address and name of the place in Thai. So you want to have this physically printed out as opposed to saved in your phone, because if for whatever reason your cell phone battery dies or for whatever reason you can't get into your phone, you won't have this information. So please make sure and print this out. It'll help reduce the amount of language barrier between the taxi driver and yourself. So you want to have that printed out. In the Chiang Mai airport, there is a taxi desk that has an English-speaking staff. There will be a bunch of signs pointing you towards the taxis. So if you have to make your own way to the accommodation, head to this desk. Here, the staff, you will show them where you need to go, and they will sort out a price up front for you, and they will give you a piece of paper that you'll hand to your driver. This is the only time when it's okay to negotiate a price up front, when this is through an airport-provided service. The reason we say this is because there are a lot of taxi drivers in Thailand that try and take advantage of tourists, and these drivers, they'll usually be dressed quite nice, and they will try and negotiate a price up front, and it'll be about 3 times the normal price. So if you don't use this taxi desk like we advise, you at least want to use a metered taxi. Not only do you want to use a metered taxi, you want to make sure that the driver turns on the meter when you get in. If for whatever reason he does not turn the meter on or refuses, simply get out of the taxi and look for another one. Simple as that. So while the event of missing your airport pickup is rare, we just want you to be as prepared as possible. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So, once you get to the accommodation, we're going to have our first meeting on Sunday night. It talks about this right here. The first meeting will be on that Sunday night before the start of the course, and it will be at 5 p.m. in the lobby of your accommodation. It'll basically be just a small meet and greet. You'll be able to meet the staff, meet your fellow group participants, and we'll talk you guys through the next week. The accommodation itself, it's not a hotel, but rather a condominium/apartments. This means you'll need to provide your own toiletries and things like that. So you'll need to provide your own toilet paper, shampoo, towels, things like that. You won't need to worry about bedding at all. That will be provided, but everything else you will need to provide on your own. When you get to the accommodation, you'll just walk up to the front desk, tell them your name and that you're with Explore Asia, and everything will already have been taken care of for you. You won't need to worry about making any reservations or anything like that. Depending on the package and program you guys came through, your accommodation may or may not be included as part of your original price. Regardless of whether or not your accommodation is included, you will have to pay a deposit for apartment policy. It protects the apartment owners, and you'll get it back at the end of the month. The only thing that will be taken out of your deposit is your utilities, talked about right here. Utilities in Thailand are very cheap for the most part, so you'll get most of it back minus however much you use your air conditioner basically. Water tends to be very cheap, but if you leave your air conditioner on 24 hours a day, you will get less of your deposit back. So that is the accommodation. On that following Monday, after we have our meeting the day before, we're going to take you guys to Central Festival Mall. It's the big local mall in the area, and this is where you'll be able to buy all the things to basically set up your accommodation. You're also going to set up your phone and bank account there. In the welcome pack we're going to give you guys on that first Sunday, it'll include a SIM card. So you can get your phone set up in two ways. The first is you take that SIM card that we give you, buy a cheap burner phone when we take you to Central Festival. The phone will cost you about $15 to $20 or so. You'll plug in the SIM card, put credit on it, and you'll be on your way. And we'll teach you guys how to put credit on once you guys land. If you want to use your smartphone, there will also be places in the mall that can not only unlock it for you, there is also all the cell phone providers, so you'll be able to set up some sort of a data plan for yourself. Myself, I use my iPhone. I pay about $10 a month, and I get plenty of data, calls, and texts. So it's very affordable. When it comes to banking, normally it's tough to get a bank account set up in Thailand without having a work permit, but we have a good relationship with the bank that we use here, so we'll be able to get you guys set up with a bank account. When it comes to using your cards from home, this is just fine. You'll be able to use your debit card here. Thailand is a very cash-based economy, so there's not a lot of places you can use your credit card. But one thing you should make sure and do before you leave your home country is call your bank and let them know that you're going to be in Thailand and that you're going to be here for an extended amount of time. I myself, when I came over, I had a debit card and a credit card from the same bank. I made sure and I called my credit card division and let them know I was going to be in Thailand, but I never called my debit card division. When I first got here, I put my debit card in, it denied me money and froze my account. It eventually got resolved after a day or two. It was really easy to do. It's just kind of a pain and takes time. Especially when you land in a new country, you want to have access to your money. So make sure and talk to your bank and let them know that you're going to be here. If there happen to be any South Africans coming in this group, we want you to make sure to bring US dollars with you as opposed to the rand. Thailand does not like to deal in the rand, so you'll get a really, really bad exchange rate. So please, please bring US dollars. When you use the ATM cards here with your home debit card, there's going to be a 150 to 180 baht transaction fee. That's regardless of how much money you're withdrawing. So just keep that in mind as you take money out of the bank. Scroll down to the next page here. Your resume, we already have it on file. It's just helpful to print it out. That way you have a couple copies for yourself. When it comes to your diplomas, degrees, and transcripts, we need you to make sure and bring the original copies of these things. We use them to help secure your job. So if it's not possible to bring the original transcripts of these things, please make sure and let us know ahead of time. We have our contact information down here. Benz is going to be our placement coordinator. He's going to help you find your job. Mike Volpe is the managing director of the company, and then Austin Benz, myself. I will be the instructor for the month. Has all of our emails and phone numbers on there. So please make sure and contact us if you have any problems about anything at all. Well, I think that's about it, guys. We're super, super excited to have you guys into Chiang Mai. We've got a bunch of awesome activities planned for the first week. So travel safe, and we're looking forward to welcoming you to Thailand soon. Take care, guys.